My name is Bjorn. I'm one of the two men from Two Man Bagel House. This project that I've been working on together with my team is called Borne and Bread. It's where we feature different food and beverage business owners. So I sit down and break bread with them, getting into their minds and talking about the ins and outs of what is it like being in the industry. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Welcome back to the last and final episode of this Borne and Bread show, at least for the first season, season 1. And today, sitting beside me on this couch, I have a very dear person that I consider who's done a lot for the scene in Singapore, who's also somebody I consider my senior, somebody who's like a G in the industry. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with him for the things that he's done. Also, I'm sure you've seen him on TV, on MasterChef, as the judges there. And you're also familiar with his restaurant, the renowned restaurant, I consider renowned, Artichoke.
Some people say overhyped and overpriced, but okay, I'll take that.
No man.
Renowned.
Renowned.
Hey. Putting it on my website right now.
Mr. Bjorn Shen, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? Hello.
Hello,
right.
Thanks for coming on the show to help me on my project. And we're going to dive right into today's topic, man. Yeah, so we usually start with knowing, trying to know the person who's on the show, our guest, his beginnings and where he started off.
Yep.
And I'm sure you've been on so many interviews. I've read so many of your articles online. So I don't want to bore the audiences with the same kind of information. So I think I really want to start off with the very beginning of Artichoke, at least.
Yes.
For me, what I want to find out, which is when you started Artichoke, it was before social media.
Yes.
There was no Instagram.
Yes, there was no Instagram at the time.
Correct.
Let me tell you how old Artichoke is.
Okay.
Artichoke was opened in 2010.
Yeah.
When I was looking for a space for Artichoke, I did not even look online. I opened the fucking newspapers, the classified section, and I was highlighting shit. On that. That's how long ago Artichoke was open. Okay, I was reading the damn newspapers, the physical copy of the newspapers.
The year that you guys started was 2010.
2010.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
And I don't know if it's me that's not very tech savvy or what, but I don't remember there being online real estate portals for Singapore.
There was no Property Guru?
I'm sure there was.
Okay.
But maybe it wasn't so easy to navigate or what as it is today.
Okay.
Today, I'm looking for a place, I'm straight up on propertyguru.com.sg.
Yeah.
Right? But back then, I was literally opening the classifieds and phoning up people.
Okay.
Based on that 3 lines of information that was provided in each little body of text there. So it was back then, you're right, before social media, which presented a lot of its own challenges.
Correct.
So with social media, what happens is that as a new business, you can get easily discovered.
Correct.
Right? You can open in a slightly more obscure location, but if what you're doing is interesting, it's photographable, it's it's something that people can talk about, for some reason you'll be able to be discovered.
Okay.
Back in 2010, before Instagram was there was only Facebook, and Facebook, I suppose it was a very powerful tool, which I used a lot back in the day, but we were not so discoverable as new businesses are today. And we were definitely before the social media age. I mean, if you look at Artichoke's Instagram account, we've been around for 10 years.
Correct.
We've got 8,000 followers. People who've been around for 2 months have more than 8,000 followers.
Yours are all organic,
Mine's all like dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Artichoke is like a dinosaur in that sense. So yes, we're not, Artichoke's never been that social media savvy. It's always been via word of mouth. It's always been via just that kind of crowd that comes through and tells their friends about it. That personal discovery was very important.
Yeah.
So where Artichoke is at is in a little courtyard, cobblestone courtyard, one of Singapore's last remaining cobblestone courtyards, and it's off the main road. So if you walk around the road in front, you'll never see it. You actually have to make that deliberate turn to walk in. So when people actually finally find us, they feel very proud of finding us.
Yeah.
And then they'll go and tell everyone, their friends, like, hey, I found this place.
Hidden spot.
Right? So that's how it started back then. Of course, not so easy. For the first few months, we were suffering because I was nobody. Artichoke was nothing.
You already had friends in the industry?
No. I had been living in Australia for the last 8 years.
Okay.
So I had no friends in the industry in Singapore. All my chef friends were colleagues that I worked with in Australia.
Okay.
I did not work the Singapore system.
Okay.
I came back to Singapore to work a couple of holiday jobs, but by no means full-time jobs. So I did not have that network of chefs that I knew, front of house people that I knew. I did not have any industry networking in Singapore when I came back to start Artichoke.
Okay.
So I had to rely on the one or two people that I knew to forward contacts to me. And one of them was my manager,
Okay.
Ronnie. And Ronnie would literally stand on the street and hustle people in.
Come right in.
Right? He'd be smoking a cigarette out there, looking real sleazy.
Yeah.
And then people walk past and like, hey, have you had dinner? You want to
Okay.
come in for dinner? Yes, right?
Okay.
So he was hustling people in off the streets. That was the way that we did advertising.
So there was
Back
no
then.
Hungry Go Where.
There was Hungry Go
There
Where.
was already, okay.
Yeah.
Was there TripAdvisor?
There was TripAdvisor, but it wasn't very popular for restaurants
Okay.
at that time. But there was definitely Hungry Go Where, and Hungry Go Where was a very big, unfortunately, credible source of information back then.
So without social media and you had to do all this guerrilla
Yeah.
type of advertising, right?
No, I wouldn't call it guerrilla. I mean, that was what we knew back then.
Yeah.
You know, it's just we didn't have a lot of other things to go on, so we had to go by these things. And Hungry Go Where reviews got me really worried because people actually believe that shit. But there's also a big group of people who just go around trying to get free meals and all that, and leaving bad reviews or threatening you in person when you get to the restaurant. Like, if you're not going to give me a discount or you're not going to give me a free meal, I'm going to give you a bad review.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that shit, a lot of that hustling going on back then.
For a two-man bagel house, like what actually helped skyrocket like our traction or like people to get to know us, right? Was Daniel Food Diary.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So this guy, he came in the shop one day.
Yeah, I know this guy.
We were still running evening services just because we had to hustle. We couldn't do just day.
Yeah.
Right. This was before we even knew what sellout meant. Like we were actually doing like baskets of bagels instead of like fucking like what we call it. Like now we have this huge array of it like on this metal rack, right? Last time we were just doing baskets and baskets, and after we sell out, we're happy kind of thing.
Okay.
So Daniel Food Diary, he came down. We didn't even know who he was. But he just came down with a friend and like he wrote an article on us.
Yo, nice.
That's where it kind of really kicked things off, you know, for us.
Shout out to Daniel, man.
Shout out to Daniel.
Very influential.
Very
good man.
Yeah, I mean, like he covered like the second store, the third store. Always write good things. I appreciate you guys and what you guys do. And yours that I read was Wong Ayok.
Yes.
Okay.
So if there's that equivalent in my world, it would have to be you, Wong Ayok, Straits Times food critic, who's very, very, very scarce with his compliments, and who's, you know, in that sense, I'd say very well regarded because he doesn't give out compliments so easily.
Yeah.
And he came through one day, and I think I recognized him walking through, and we're all like freaking out. We're like, okay, do not acknowledge him. Do not let him know that we know who he is.
Yeah.
Just sit him down and serve him well. That's all, right?
Yeah. Make sure he has a good time.
Make sure he has a good time, right?
This is like Michelin level.
Yeah, so it's like he was covert. He walked in all the way to the back. He sat with his back facing the rest of the dining room. He
Solo?
ate quietly. No, with friends.
Okay.
Right? But the reservation was made under someone else.
Okay.
So we were like freaking out inside the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we're like just making sure his food was good.
This was when you were still begging behind the line.
Behind the line, man. This was 2010. This is like in the first year.
Okay.
Still in the first year, the end of 2010. And he left the end of the night. We didn't know whether he enjoyed it or not.
Yeah.
Right? 2 days later, we got an email from Straits Times saying, look, you know, one of our critics recently visited your establishment and he would like to request for some photos, some stock photos, so that we can put it on a review.
Okay.
So with bated breath, we waited for that review, and it didn't suck.
Awesome.
It didn't suck. I think we got like a...
What was his actual words, like if you recall?
Something like there's soul in this place.
There's soul.
Yeah, there's soul in this place.
Okay.
Right? And like his usual score for new restaurants is 3.5 out of 5. Like, if you're a good restaurant, you get 3.5.
Yeah.
I think we got 3.5 or 4 or something.
Okay.
Which was like, yes!
Okay, we
yes.
did.
And from that weekend on, people started calling up. I mean,
Yeah.
back this was the age of phone reservations, not online reservations.
Okay.
We're still having this physical reservations book where you answer the
Yeah,
phone
yeah.
and write people's details in there. Our reservations book went off the charts. Right?
Yeah.
We had to open new pages
Yeah.
just for reservations on one day. So thank you very much, Wang Ayok. Incredible job. You are the reason
I mean, I
why
haven't met
Artichoke is
you.
around.
You haven't had my bagels, maybe?
Yeah. Wang Ayok, please. So yeah, like we got that, and we had a lot of people come through after that. The problem is this, that a lot of people coming through did not understand our cuisine and
Right.
what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
So a lot of people did not mean that they have or they had good experiences.
Yeah.
In fact, we had a big flood of people coming through because of the review with a lot of misaligned expectations
Yeah.
of the cuisine, of the price point or of the style of service,
Yeah.
who were also not happy with what they experienced. We opened in 2010, where a lot of good restaurants were still in hotels.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the age where the only good restaurants outside of hotels, I can tell you, was Spruce, TS
yeah.
Cafe,
Yeah.
Epicurious,
Yeah.
right? Raw Kitchen and Bar.
Okay.
Back then, Javier did it in Upper Bukit Timah.
Yeah.
You know, this
Cajun
was
Kings was Cajun
what's that?
Kings?
Cajun Kings was not even open yet.
Okay.
One of my guys, Brian, left to help open Cajun Kings.
Okay.
Right? So, like, this was before all that time, and a lot of the best restaurants in Singapore were always in hotels
Right.
and were very refined.
Okay.
So people, when they went out and spent a certain amount of money, they
Yeah.
wanted a certain level of fine service,
Right.
which we were not peddling.
Was there any other like Middle Eastern restaurants?
Nothing. That's why we chose
So
to do Middle Eastern.
By right, like I would consider you like to be like the pioneer.
No, I mean there were Middle Eastern restaurants.
Okay.
I did not invent Middle Eastern cuisine. You know, it's a great
In
cuisine.
Singapore.
There were all
Was
these
anybody
Arab
doing it?
street restaurants,
Okay.
but no one was fucking with the cuisine.
Like this was like when shisha was still available.
Yes,
shit,
this was
okay.
when every time you go to a Middle Eastern restaurant,
Yeah.
you would have a kebab,
Yeah.
you would have hummus, you would have falafel, and then you finish with mint tea and a
Yeah.
shisha.
Yeah.
And that's the classic Middle Eastern restaurant experience.
Correct.
And as you walk down Arab Street, you'd be like hustled by a lot of people on the side trying to get you in and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's that sort of very exotic experience,
Yeah.
or that manufactured exotic experience.
Yeah.
But no one was doing it in a contemporary setting. No one was doing it in a way that was trendy cafe-like.
Mm.
So we started off with a cafe vibe. In fact, when we first opened,
Yeah.
we were called Artichoke Cafe
And bar.
and Bar, right? That was our first logo. That was our first name. A few years later, as we progressed into becoming more of a restaurant,
Yeah.
as we evolved, we took away the cafe and bar part.
Okay.
It just became Artichoke. But the first few years, we were doing very much cafe-inflected style of Middle
Right.
Eastern food.
Was this before the third wave coffee trend? I mean the whole
Just at the same
wave.
time.
Oh, same time.
At
So
exactly
cafes
the
started
same
coming
time.
in.
So this was the same time that Papa Paletta opened. Papa
Oh.
Paletta opened in Bukit Timah like 2 or 3 months before Artichoke opened.
Okay.
So on my way to Artichoke, I'd swing by Papa Paletta to get coffee. And this was when they didn't even have a cash register. They just had a donation box,
Okay.
like a jar. to
Before
drop-
Chai Sing Huat.
Before Chai Sing Huat, right?
Yeah.
So it's when they were just this 4-man operation in the back lane.
Yeah.
You know, before a lot of people, before hipsters, before the word hipster even existed. Right?
There was Artichoke.
No, those guys were doing coffee.
Okay.
So
but
those guys were so-
Artichoke was there too. You know what I mean?
Artichoke was at that time. This was at,
This is paramount, man.
at
Because
the front,
yeah.
at the cusp of when the third wave coffee movement hit.
Yeah.
There was, I think, 40 Hands may have just opened also at around the same time.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. We were this cafe
Mhm.
that did not look like a Middle Eastern place and yet was serving food that felt a bit Middle Eastern.
What coffee were you guys serving? Just curious.
We were serving like Lavazza coffee because I didn't know
Okay.
about like we weren't trying to be that kind of like
Okay.
third wave coffee place.
Yeah. Because I had so much difficulty trying to find like my direction for at least my coffee program.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to work with nylon coffee roasters.
Yo, yes.
Okay, but my setup wasn't good enough for them. I mean,
Okay,
shout out to
normally-
you guys. You guys are still doing a great job.
Yeah, that is.
I visit you guys like weekly.
Yes.
But like at the very beginning when we actually approached them, like
Yeah.
I mean, they were running their own thing.
Yep.
And like they had to represent their brand well.
Yep.
So like I think like
Of course.
for us just coming in and saying
No.
like we want to work with the best and we think you're the best, they politely rejected us, saying like, you know,
Good job, Dennis.
Good job.
Have to be selective.
staying true, respect, yeah. But yeah, so I had a hard time trying to navigate like what the coffee program was gonna be like.
Yeah.
In the end, we ended up working with Oreo,
Nice. Yeah.
the one who got
Keith Low. Oreo.
acquired by Far East.
Yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
that was around already when I was around. Yeah, Oreo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like you guys weren't banging on coffee, but
No, we weren't banging on coffee.
how was the alcohol program like then?
Nothing. The alcohol program was all the beers that I knew from living in Australia. So there was Crown Lager, there was like
Pure Blonde.
Tooheys. Pure Blonde wasn't even on the market yet.
Okay, shit.
Tooheys, Victoria Bitter,
Okay,
you know.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Think 4X Gold. We had 4X Gold on the menu.
Shit, the XXX.
Yeah, the
Oh
four
my
X's.
God.
That was from Queensland where I used to live.
Okay.
You know, fucking Crown Lager and shit. So it was not very sophisticated. I have to be very upfront. Our drink program was not very sophisticated, and we weren't trying to go and do like smoothies and all that. So.
Yeah.
In many ways, it's ironic because I say that we were a cafe, and yet our drink program did not reflect like we were a cafe.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have smoothies, we didn't have milkshakes, we didn't have, you know,
Sophisticated coffee.
we didn't. I mean, we had this coffee machine, right?
Right.
But because I wasn't a barista, I had
Yeah.
no interest in coffee.
Yeah.
So we just got Lavazza from this company QB because they also supplied the machine, and they gave us this loan hire scheme where after
Just like
2
all
years,
press,
they'd service it for you for 2 years. You pay them one amount of money, and then.
Are you a coffee drinker though?
I eventually became a coffee drinker, but
Okay.
I'm still not a coffee fanatic.
Okay.
I drink. I like my coffee once in a while,
Okay.
you know, but I'll take it white with no sugar.
White with no sugar.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheers.
I'm not like a. Oh, cheers. Yeah. Okay. I'm not like a cold drip or like a filter kind of guy, or you know.
It's crazy.
I'm not sophisticated like
Yeah, it's
that.
crazy because like when I started like the bagel house, right, it was in that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this wave, right? It was
Yeah.
at the top, man. Like,
Yes.
what do you call it? I don't know,
It's
man.
the
Like,
peak, man.
It was the peak, man.
Yeah.
Like everywhere, like you see cafes just blowing up, right?
Right.
Everybody was competing on like
On
where, talking about like where has like the most, where has the like the best coffee and shit. Like, so it was hard for me during that time because I wasn't a barista, but I had to fucking train myself to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you felt like you had to fit in,
I had to fit in, yes.
Right.
Yes.
because people would judge you on your coffee, even though you don't give a shit about coffee.
Yeah.
People would come in and judge you on that shit.
Correct.
Right? So that was tough. It was tough for me as well to try and get around that because
Yeah.
I didn't care so much for coffee. I mean, I like drinking
Yeah.
it, but
So
Yeah.
so I remember it was super tough, and I met this boy over at Oreo. This guy is still running his own thing right now. Aslam from Community Coffee.
yes, all right.
Shout
all
out,
right,
like
right.
thank you so much for what you guys done for
Yeah.
us. Taught us coffee, taught us the foundations and fundamentals. Really important. So yeah, we sailed through that period. We actually wanted to do stock coffee, man, with bagels.
Same thing, dude.
Yeah,
I want to do like just local coffee.
yeah.
Yeah, local coffee, man.
I thought like it would be easier and like keeping like the heritage there.
For me, it was more the heritage angle.
Yeah.
Like, look, whatever restaurant you run in Singapore, why don't you just do local coffee? Why do you have to do like westernized coffee
Yeah.
when you run a restaurant in Singapore? Even though your food might not be local, but
Yeah.
your drink program can be local.
Yeah, I guess like what you mentioned was true. We were just trying to fit in.
Yeah.
You know,
No, but then again, you can't do that because you can't charge $5
for a local coffee.
for a local
you
coffee.
cannot.
That sucks, right?
Never. Yeah.
So, yeah.
The profit margins for like these like artisanal coffees is just it's crazy, dude.
No, but then the management of the machine and the management of a barista. Imagine you hire a full-time barista.
Yeah.
How many coffees you have to sell a day in order to make that person's salary break
That's
even?
true. That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So it's actually not that easy running a cafe. If anyone's watching this thinking, okay, yeah, profit margins are great, I'm going to run a cafe, please don't. Think of how many cups of coffee you have to sell a day to make your expenses work out, your rent, your barista salary, and all that. And imagine one cup of coffee is $4 or $5.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Can you really make and sell that much coffee?
And it's also like the stock coffee is like a craft, right? And not a
Yeah.
lot of like young people like or,
They
like,
wanna do it.
Don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not cool.
Not cool at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's backtrack a little bit. Back onto Artichoke and its very beginning times.
Yeah.
Was Google reviews already available?
I suppose, but I was only fixated on what I saw on
'Cause-
both Foursquare and Hungry Goer.
Dude, like Google reviews is so it affects the business so much nowadays, man.
Okay. Look, let me tell you one thing about reviews. Okay. I have stopped reading reviews. And I'm sorry. I mean, if you think that I don't care, it's not that I don't care.
I still read it
care
every day.
I care about what you guys feel, but because there's so much bullshit out there, for the sake of my mental health, for the sake of my happiness in life, I've decided to stop reading reviews.
Okay.
Because yes, it's very true that when people have bad experiences, they they go write a review. But my background before doing Artichoke and all that was I did branding and marketing. Right?
Yeah.
And what we understand of reviews is that people only write reviews when they're very upset or when they're very happy.
Yeah.
No one writes, very few people, unless they're very pro users of that platform, write reviews about things that fall in the middle.
Yeah.
So you either get very raving reviews or you get very, very scathing reviews.
Yeah.
And most often people take the time and the energy only when they want to write a very, very bad review.
So it's emotionally charged.
It's emotionally charged. Not only that, it presents you a unbalanced picture of how you're actually performing, because 100 people could have come and gone and felt good things.
Yeah.
Felt, oh, this place was like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And one person could have come and experienced you on an off day where you really fucked up and you did something wrong.
Right.
And then they write a scathing review. And then you only read that one review.
Yeah.
And that sits with you.
Yeah.
Despite all the other good work that you do.
Correct.
So for the sake of my mental health, I was burning out and breaking down a few times a year. I told myself, look, it's going to take a lot of courage, it's going to take a lot of determination, but I'm going to stop myself from reading reviews.
So what, you just fucking deactivate the...
Nope. I don't even have like notifications.
Okay.
You have notifications, I sense that.
Yeah.
I don't even want to have notifications. I never had notifications. But I just stopped myself and I no longer am interested in reading, because you know why? My best customers, the ones that care about the business, will bring their feedback up to us in person.
Personally,
right? And they have. And I'm very grateful to that. There are many instances where we fucked up, they brought it to us, we helped them turn it around, and we turned them into very regular customers and friends.
The same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just like really hard for us, like, business owners, not to feel personal, like with every review that comes in, right?
Correct. It just is so personal. You hit the nail on the head with the word personal.
You out, man.
It does, man.
Yeah.
When you pour your fucking heart in and you work the number of hours that we do, and you put in the amount of sacrifice that we do, and then to have someone misunderstand what you do, or misinterpret it, or compare it to something else that they shouldn't be comparing it to, then that really fucking hurts. Yeah. You can't blame them, but you can change the situation by, maybe taking it with a pinch of salt, or just taking it less seriously.
But I want to draw the attention right now back to the topic of like what we decided to talk about, and talk about overdose and bread. So I want to put them together.
Okay.
And,
so if anyone looks at me and thinks this is a successful guy, let me look at you back in the eye and tell you that you're wrong. This is a very unsuccessful guy, right? For the one success that I've had, which is Artichoke, and I wouldn't even call it a success. I think we're just getting by. We're just floating. We're treading water every day still. The success is in how we dupe you into thinking that we're doing well, right? It's about appearing calm and collected, even though everything's fucking on fire and burning and falling apart. It's about presenting an image that we got it covered. We're under control. That's how service businesses run. Right? You can be understaffed. You cannot show it. You can have a lot of politics going on. You can have people leaving. You can have the whole back end crumbling, but the customers cannot feel that.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like that every day.
Yeah, I mean,
keeping that collected front. Right?
How you do it so well is something that really kind of impresses me, because like your name is really in the limelight, and like I've read your articles and like watched your videos again. Like when you talked about like how and what happened with like overdose and bread. All these were like emotional investment, financial investment, physical investment, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, how did you? And plus, you're the business owner. There's no one else who like is able to kind of mentor you and tell you like it's gonna be okay.
I don't have partners.
Yeah, you don't have partners.
I don't have partners. I'm just one dude on like a loan.
Yeah.
That I've paid back already.
Correct.
But one dude on a loan.
One dude on loan.
Yeah. One dude on a loan, paid back.
Yeah.
But all the money for new businesses comes from what's generated in the business, in the flagship business, Artichoke, right? So yes, overdose lost 230,000 in 2 months. Bird lost 950,000 in 2 years.
You guys moved from Anxiang then to Siglap.
Yeah,
I dined at the one in Anxiang. I dined at the one at
Siglap as well.
Siglap as well.
Yeah, and it was always busy on weekends. on weekends.
But you know, like that hype that you created, like, you know, with
Yeah.
fried chicken, like I thought, fuck, it was so sad that, like, you know, nobody appreciated it, because like everybody was thinking like, oh, okay, like Korean fried chicken, right? Then, like,
Exactly.
yeah.
That price bias.
Dude, and that was the time when Nene Chicken, all the fucking Korean fried chickens came in.
No, I was banking on that, and I actually brought it up to my branding agency, right?
Yeah.
For the first time in any of my businesses, I thought, okay, let's work with a branding agency, because we have this uphill battle that I know of, and that is to elevate the value of fried chicken.
Yeah.
So Korean fried chicken existed on this island in the sky,
Mm.
where you were able to command, let's say, $25 for one chicken,
Yeah.
which is very standard pricing, $25 for one chicken.
Yeah.
Then all the other chicken existed below it,
Mm.
where you could only charge, I mean, people were comparing to like Arnold's fried chicken, KFC, and hawker center chicken and all that, or ayam goreng or whatever, ayam penyet. So everything else was here, and then Korean fried chicken was up there, and I
Elevated
told
now, on
my
the pedestal, yeah.
right, I told my branding agency that, right, so I'm going to do Thai fried chicken. Can you get me up to that price point of Korean fried chicken, or at least close,
Yeah.
where people will accept the price point of something around $22, right,
Okay.
for a chicken?
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. I was being dumb. I was being naive. I was being, you know, overly ambitious to think that we could break that perception barrier, but people were still comparing us to KFC for some reason.
Yeah.
Even though we're not a fast food place.
Yeah.
People were comparing us to the very good fried chicken that they get at like Tender Best.
Yeah.
Or Tender Fresh.
Yo, I go to Tender Best, man.
Yeah, and it's good.
It's good.
It's good. I love it, right?
But you're doing something different.
But that's at a hawker center.
Yeah,
that's
it's
in a,
uncomparable, man.
you know, you can't. We were offering full service, full table service, cocktails, nice environment, designer environment, and all that. And a lot of money that you pay for a dining experience doesn't actually go to the food. It goes to the setting. The
Yeah, and
cost of having that
that's something
setting.
you really emphasize on, which is like the entire package.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So I felt like you did it well with like Bird, but still.
No, I failed miserably at Bird. I mean, we were always crowded. We had a wait list.
Yeah.
Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But how I lost, and a lot of people are like wondering, like, how the fuck did you lose that much money, right? Was it because your rent was bad? Was it because
It's almost
you
$1
were-
million, man.
Yeah, how did you lose almost $1 million in 2 years when you were full on Friday, Saturday, Sunday? I'll tell you what. How I lost $1 million when I was full on Friday, Saturday, Sunday was by being empty on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Right? So when you go to a restaurant and you see them doing well on a weekend, it's not counted.
Yeah.
You do not gauge their success by seeing them full on a Saturday night or a Sunday morning. That's not counted. You go there on a Monday night and see how empty they are.
True story.
Right? Just one bad day of the week can drain your entire week.
Yeah.
Profit margins are so slim already
Yeah.
that just one bad day,
But right, true, man.
right? Now, profit margins, a lot of people think we're making 30, 40%, right? The truth is 5%, 5 to 10% for the best of us, okay? 5 to 10%. If you think about that another way, it means that for a $100 bill, $5 to $10 is profit. The other $90 to $95 is all expenses. Think about that another way. In 1 month, we got 30 days. 30 days. What's 5% of 30 days? 1.5 days, right? If we operate at 7 days a week, the last 1.5 days of the month is the 2 days that we make profit. The first 29.5 days of the month is covering expenses. It's just 1.5 days. So what if we have one of those days where it rains out on us and we see zero business or nothing or close to nothing on that one day? We have zero profit
We
for the
pray,
whole month,
bro. We pray.
right?
We pray.
What happens if there's a month where we have to do a renovation because our DB box went down and we have to shut for 3 days? It's a confirmed loss.
Yeah.
No matter how full you are the other days, we shut for 3 days, confirmed loss.
Opportunity
Minus.
cost lost. Yeah.
Right? Because why? When we shut for 3 days, we can't tell our employees that we're paying them less. We can't tell our landlords that we're paying them less. We can't tell our suppliers that we're paying them less. Right? So people don't fucking understand this.
Yeah.
But profit margins are fucking like that.
Okay.
Right? This.
So how did you bounce back up, man? Like, you know, like you put your name on the line, but moved, you know, hoping for like a better location to make the concept work again. How did you even come out of that fucking hole? Like, I want to know, because like for me, like I've been lucky, like super blessed. We've opened Tanjung Pagar, followed by Novena,
Yeah.
then Holland Village, and they're all still okay. I mean, like to bounce back up, to like come back up from a dark place, right? Like of like feeling like something that you've tried so hard?
There's no way to bounce back. I mean, you just gotta keep grinding, So, I mean, I look back on the $1 million loss I made at Bird, and there's no way I can technically ever make it back, because even if I make it back, it doesn't really go back. I mean, it just means that, unless I make it back times 2 or whatever, in half the time, it really doesn't mean that I made it back. I still lost. I still lost. You can never really make it back.
Correct. Like, I would imagine, like, like you being so demoralized, but also like you still have to keep that, like front. And like, how did your staff feel, man?
Okay, so after I lost Bird, there were a lot of fundamental changes. There were a lot of staff from Bird that I didn't want to lose. So I had to bring them back to Artichoke.
It's additional. And
it's additional overheads for Artichoke. So what we did was we went from a 5-day work week to a 6-day work week. Sorry, a 5-day trading week to a 6-day trading week. So
we pushed additional day.
We opened an additional day. In order to justify me being around, I went back into the kitchen at Artichoke, which I hadn't been in Artichoke because I was at Bird. Or I was bouncing back and forth between Bird and Artichoke. But for a while, I only had Artichoke. And that's when I was a lot more active. I went back in the kitchen with service and all that. And that really helped me get my mind off things. And it really helped me refocus Artichoke as well, because during the time that Bird was there, Artichoke menu had to stabilize. Just so that I could spend my time at Bird. But by virtue of stabilizing, it also meant becoming a bit more boring, becoming a bit more safe. Changing the menu less often, taking less risks. So after Bird closed, I was able to go back and refocus on Artichoke and make it exciting again. And I'm glad that I did it.
Like reconsolidation.
Consolidating all my energy, all my best people back at Artichoke, and really just working on ground zero. Because Artichoke is ground zero for everything. It is the mothership.
Yeah, and you're running it all alone, because I can imagine how difficult it is. Because like for me, like whenever we hit like an iceberg, right, there's always Jerome. And like for me, I can bounce with him and we could talk about it. But like, was there any like pillar of strength for you? Like, like how did you look at adversity then?
I mean, my wife, obviously, she works with me in the business. She's not a partner, but she works with me in the business. She might as well be a partner. So shout out to my wife, Roxanne. Only problem is that my hours are so bad that we don't even see each other on most days. So I'll talk to her when I can talk to her. And she really was there for me. And I've got a lot of employees who spend a long time with me and very vested. So I'm also able to talk to them. And I do have a very solid core team of a few people, especially right now, that I can really trust and rely on.
Wait, are these guys still around? Like the core team?
Still around.
Shit. But I'm sure you've
lost. No. And some of them are quite new.
Okay.
I say quite new, I mean 2 or 3 years new. But they are the type that got your back.
2-3 years is a good year, man. Like, I mean, it's a good number of years that like people can stay in, like with the restaurant. Because like now it's like fast, man. Like, people jump ship like easy.
No, it's been like that ever since. It's been like that ever since. I do not blame people for jumping ship. I do not blame people for changing jobs often. I think it's something that you do when you're young, because your attention span is shorter. So I really don't blame people for doing that. In fact, I myself might have been guilty of doing that too when I was 22 years old. So I always believe in, like, people come through for a short time. You just give them the best experience. You take the best from them. They give, they take the best from you. It's a good mutual, beneficial sort of thing. Sort of partnership.
So like these core people, like, I mean, let's just put it out there, like the frontliners for you or for me, right? Like these guys, we treasure them so much. And like sometimes like they leave. And like for me, at least, like what I've experienced like most recently is like a bunch of my guys left. And I want to talk about this because I feel like it was really hard for me. I felt like it was a breakup, man. Like it was really personal. So I want to talk about like this matter, and like for you to shed some wisdom on how you deal with it. So like it's advice that you can give me.
Well, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask from, any kind of advice from. I don't think that I've always done things in the best possible way. But, people do come and go. We have to accept that. And people do come and go for good reason. it's hard for us as business owners to understand because this is our business. We ain't gonna go.
Yeah.
But if this wasn't our business and we saw it as a job, at some point you want to change job for a change of environment, for a change of benefits, for a change of hours, or just to learn something new, see something else, you know. So you can't expect people to stay with you forever. You take care of guys from the inside, they will take care of your business. That's how it works, right? My job as a business owner is not to take care of my customers. That's the job of my staff.
Yeah.
My job is to take care of my guys so that my guys can take care of my customers.
Yeah.
It's a circle, man.
It's a full circle.
It's a full,
For sure, yeah. I want to talk about like the next thing before we finally approach the wrap up, right? It's and as everybody would talk to you and ask you, right, what's your views on the scene right now in F&B? And this is like you mentioning before that Singaporeans are like, okay, I won't quote you, but because this is my own opinion as well. Singaporeans here, they're very trend focused. They like to jump on the bandwagon and stuff like that.
Yes.
How do you think the next year would be like or two? Because given that, like for me, I'm doing a sandwich joint and egg slut is coming in. So you got all this like brands from overseas, right? With crazy like investors, venture capital firms investing and bringing them in. How do you think it's gonna change the scene or affect the scene, man? Like,
don't let it worry you. I used to get so worried when I saw famous brands from overseas that did the same thing as what I'm doing come into Singapore. We end up becoming friends. But really, I think if you just do what you do, you focus on what you do, you know that you're putting out good shit all the time. You know that you're not cheating people. You know that you're just putting on the best show that you can every day. You don't have to worry about which big boys are coming to town. You don't have to, right? And back to the whole idea that Singaporeans are very trend focused. I tell you the simple reason for that. Because business cost is so high, business risk is so high. It very seldom makes sense for people to take big risks on things that are unproven. People only want to spend money on things that are proven. Which means that you end up with a lot of the same thing. And it dies out very fast. So that's also not good. It's just that, if this was a bigger country where rents were lower, generally speaking, overheads were lower, we could have a little bit more wiggle room to try interesting things and to experiment with things for the first time. But because this is a highly competitive market that's so saturated, that's so expensive to operate in, we have to go with things that are tried and tested. That's why, like I said, business owners here are very trend focused. Not wrong, it's not wrong.
And you always preach like doing things that's experimental or things that you like, and you coined that term gastronomy, right? And it brings my focus now to where we're sitting right now, which is Smalls.
Smalls, look around, guys. Look around, pan the cameras around if you can.
And man, like I'm super excited because it's such a nice place. It's so cozy.
Yeah, the cameras should just move around.
Yeah, it's so nice.
That thing.
It's this guy's test lab kitchen.
Get that kitchen in there as well. Get the whole thing. Get the windows.
And, it's coming live and online in 2021.
Yes, so this is my test kitchen. It's also my private dining space. We're starting with private dining sessions, pizza omakase sessions. In fact,
exactly.
This weekend.
Oh shit!
This weekend.
Oh man, wait, you're doing it for the New Year's?
Yeah, we are like 3 groups coming in on New Year's Day itself.
Cool, man. Yeah. So Smalls has been an idea that you incubated and you conceived. I'm not too sure whether it was before COVID. Was it before
Smalls
COVID?
Was always my test kitchen.
Right.
For research, for like consulting projects.
Right.
And there was always this bar counter. There's a four-seat small room at Artichoke.
Yo, why'd you call it Smalls, man?
Because it's tiny.
Okay.
It's freaking tiny. I would call it Tinies. Right? I call it Smalls. Cheers. And it started off as that private space where I could conduct all my consulting work with my clients outside of the main dining room. And then I decided to start feeding people omakase dinners inside, and it worked out. So yes, it was conceived before circuit breaker. And just as well because it helped to make some money. For sure. Before we started losing big money during circuit breaker.
Oh, that was like dark.
We're
So
talking about
Smalls was
yeah.
born like before COVID.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And it just in a
Tell
very
the-
timely fashion.
Tell the world, tell the viewers, like what are they supposed to anticipate or expect out of Smalls?
Okay, so as in when they come for an omakase session, a pizza omakase session.
Yeah.
Okay, so back alley entrance, no real signage downstairs. This is a private space. If you're up here, means that you're here by invite, right?
Yeah.
Or you nabbed one of those very hard to get spots. It's kind of like these very popular supper clubs like
Correct.
Mustard Seed and Fat Food.
Really good for dates.
Right?
If you want to impress a girl.
But we only take tables of 4.
Oh.
Unfortunately, we don't do 2s and we don't do 1s.
Do a
we
double
don't do
date.
7s.
Do a double date.
Yeah, so we only take groups of 4, and
Yeah.
your group of 4 will walk in through this door right here,
Yeah.
and sit down on one of these couches.
Yeah.
You'll eat your first couple of courses at this couch, have a few drinks, and then we move you up to the bar there.
Yeah.
Serve you a few more pizzas at the bar. Things that we can do, a bit of show and tell, show you some cool ingredients, show you some cool techniques. And then after that, you move down to the dining table.
Mm-hmm.
You have your main course and you have your dessert. So it's a moving experience. It's like the cheap knockoff version of Zen, which is a very good.
Don't say
restaurant.
that, dude. Don't
Yeah.
say that.
This
man.
is like the cheap knockoff of Zen. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he's
Yeah.
taking care of like every experience, every moment here, like when you enter Smalls. Think about it.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the end
Okay.
of today's final season finale, and I think like I had such an
Finale.
enjoyable conversation with this guy, and I wish that I could have more airtime, because it's just always fun to speak to people like who is doing like food as well. I just want to ask Bjorn now to share with our viewers and audience anything like he wants to share about, man. Like this is like free and open, like
Wow, this is very big and very broad, and I'm usually
very
not
big, yeah.
not accustomed to
It's a
going into anything
conversation,
very
yeah,
big
yeah.
and broad. But
Mm.
if any of you guys had dreams of like starting up a food business,
Yeah.
I would say now is actually a very good time to do it. Honestly. Like
Because
it
of what?
might sound
Because
ironic,
of
right?
like the rates and stuff, like the rental rates coming down, or what?
Not that. Because of the lift on being able to operate from home.
Okay.
The government has lifted its restrictions on who can operate at home and in what capacity.
Okay.
And if you see a lot of supper clubs, if you see a lot of private dining gigs, if you see a lot of people just selling shit from their home,
Yeah.
now is a very good time to start a business from home.
Yeah.
Because overheads are low, you can test it out at very little, financial risk.
Yeah.
If it works, then fine, go out there.
Micro scale, yeah.
Yeah, go scale it after
Yeah.
that, right? But before this, I think we couldn't,
Mm.
and we had to jump in with big risk. And
It's more forgiving now.
it's more forgiving,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that rents have gone down. In fact, I'm still always looking on Property Guru and all
Yeah.
that now. Not because I'm looking for a new space, but that's what I do as
Yeah.
a business owner. I'm always looking for who's closing, and I can tell who's closing when I go on Property Guru
Yeah.
and see whose place is up for rent.
Yeah.
Rents haven't actually gone down that much.
Yeah.
Not a lot of concessions being made right now. And most landlords are saying, I'll give you a discount for the first 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe the first year. Then after that, we go back to some exorbitant amount.
Mm.
But, do it from home. Do it from home.
Yeah.
And people are stuck in Singapore right now, so they're starting to want to experience new things. They want to start moving outside of their comfort zones. They want to start exploring other parts of Singapore.
Yeah.
They want to stop eating at the same old hawker center. They want to start ordering food. I think Circuit Breaker did a great thing for us, which made people used to ordering food
Yeah.
and paying in advance and getting it delivered.
Mm.
So
Acclimatizing to that behavior.
exactly.
Yeah.
And online payments and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So now
But
it's a
Small's not going to
fantastic
do
time.
like delivery, right?
No, we're not doing delivery. We're
Okay.
just focusing on in-house experiences.
Okay.
Dine in.
Okay.
Yeah, dine in. 3
Sweet.
groups a night,
Yeah.
3 nights a week.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sweet. Okay.
Go for it, guys.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah, but thank you for your time again. Like it's so sad that like this has to end, but everyone out there who has been following the series and the episodes so far, I hope you've learned a thing, or I hope you learned a thing or two from our conversations. Even if you don't, please continue watching, because like this is where like I'm trying to do something different for the community. I'm trying to do something for people to understand more about F&B. So yeah, please continue to support and Have a great new year, and I hope 2021 will be safe for everyone. Peace out.